And then I found out that that pastel painter was just copying photographs that were taken by a professional photographer. And that completely changed it for me. That person wasn't an artist anymore. And again, I hope this doesn't come across as elitist or discouraging. Anyone can be an artist. It just requires a little shift in mindset. So to become an artist, this is where you start. So how do you become an artist? What I'm about to share may sound a little controversial at first, but just hear me out. You don't become a good artist by getting very good at drawing or painting or sculpting or photography. Those are good and useful tools to have as an artist, but just being good at those things doesn't make you an artist by itself. When I was a kid, I would draw a lot. Animals, doodles, cartoon characters, and they were pretty good for my age. I was better than the other kids. And the kids and the teachers would see my drawings and they'd say things like, "Oh, you're such a good artist." But I really wasn't a good artist. I was just good at drawing, and there is a difference. I thought I was a pretty good artist because people told me I was, and also because I could draw things like Donald Duck better than the other kids. And really, I wasn't a good artist at all. I was just really good at reproducing lines that I had practiced over and over and over again. And it was a useful tool, and I'm glad that I did it, to be able to draw and to learn to draw in that way. That was a useful skill, but I wasn't creating art. In other words, if you're an artist who draws, then that skill of drawing, even if you're a master at it, is only one aspect of you being an artist, and not even the most important one, not even close. Being able to draw Donald Duck or anything else that I learned to draw didn't make me an artist. So how did I become an artist, and why does it even matter? And by the way, I don't mean a professional artist. I don't do this for a full-time living, and you don't have to either to call yourself an artist. I have achieved some personal goals like selling my work and gallery representation and being juried into art shows and even some awards in some of the top pastel competitions like the Pastel 100 and the Dakota Pastel Competition, both the quarterly and the annual. But I don't consider myself an artist because of these accomplishments. And you don't have to sell a single piece or earn a single award to be an artist. But back to the Donald Duck thing. We see the same thing happen today over and over again on social media, where people see a painting or a drawing that's well done and they automatically start saying, "Oh, you're such a good artist. That's such great art." In fact, the other day I saw a pastel painter, and I won't give their name, but they shared some beautiful portraits, like Renaissance master level portraits. They were amazing, like the colors and the lighting and the outfits and the design, the composition. Now, I don't know if the painter had permission to use the photos or not, and that is an important question. And if you start getting into art and start selling your art, it's a question that you need to look into because copyright law and trademark law do matter. You can't reproduce the work of somebody else and sell it as your own. So I don't know if this painter had permission to use these photos. To their credit, they did say where they got the photos and tag the photographer, but that's not even the main issue. The point is that the painter didn't really create anything. The photographer is the one who picked out the outfits and posed the models and composed the picture and the colors and the lighting and everything about it. The photographer made all of those choices, and the painter merely copied the work that the photographer had done. And the painter was extremely skilled, like so good, so realistic, and the colors were wonderful. But that's not really art. Now, if this sounds a little elitist and like I'm an art snob or something, just stick with me a little bit. I know it may sound like that, but what I'm really getting at is that anybody can be an artist. And listen, I'm not saying you can't use other people's photos as reference material. In fact, that can be a great place to start and a great way to practice. When you start out on the journey to become an artist or you're just practicing, it can be great to remove some of the elements and focus in on certain things to enhance your skills. So if you're working on your drawing, it can be really helpful to remove the compositional decisions and the color decisions and the other things by just using a stock photo where all those decisions are already made for you. And then you just work on your painting or your drawing or your color mixing or whatever it is. That can be extremely helpful. And in fact, professional artists do this all the time and talk about this all the time when they do a master copy, When you take a master work, somebody else's painting, and you try to reproduce it in your own medium or even in your own style, and you can learn a lot about how that artist used color and their brushwork and other elements. So using stock photos can be very useful, and a master copy of somebody else's work can be very useful. But even if you reproduce the Mona Lisa like perfectly and your skills are exceptional, you've still only reproduced the Mona Lisa. You haven't created your own art. And when you do master copies, you don't present them as works of art. You don't present them as your work for sure. And you don't sell them because they're just practice pieces. And definitely keep practicing. Use those stock photos if that helps. Do master copies if it helps. But the skill of drawing and painting alone doesn't make you an artist. Just like me being able to draw Donald Duck didn't make me an artist. And listen, I'm not sharing anything controversial or mind-blowing here. This is a well-settled issue. Even our copyright law and our trademark laws that I mentioned earlier have settled this for us. I mean, they basically say you can use what you create, you can sell what you create, and you shouldn't use what somebody else creates. And that's really all that I'm saying. If you want to be an artist, you should create your own things and don't copy the things that other people create. And again, I hope this doesn't come across as elitist or discouraging, like only certain people with certain abilities can become artists, because that's not what I'm saying at all. In fact, just the opposite. Anyone can be an artist. It just requires a little shift in mindset. So what does make you an artist? And again, like I said before, not a professional artist, although you can become a professional artist if you put these things into practice that I'm talking about. But this idea of a shift in mindset has been the single greatest factor in my artistic development, and I would also argue in the development of all great artists. So what is an artist? It's just somebody who practices the translation of observation. It's taking what you observe in the world around you and putting that down in visual form, or music or literature for that matter. Artistic skills like drawing and composition and color choice, they're useful tools for the translation aspect, but all great art comes from great observation. And to be an artist, it needs to come from your observation, your perspective, your view of the world. If you are only ever painting from stock photos, then you're only using somebody else's perspective, and we need your perspective. In some cases, this translation of observation idea shows itself in the form of a message or a moral, like the famous street artist Banksy, who observes injustice in the world and then translates that into symbols and form that mean something. But contrary to a popular view, great art doesn't always have to have a symbolic or a cultural or a moral message. But it does need to say something. Like Van Gogh looking out into the night sky, and he paints Starry, Starry Night to represent the movement and the brilliance of the stars. And it's not realistic at all, but we all know what it is, and it just somehow feels right and connects with so many people. Because Van Gogh was a master of translating what he observed, not just what he saw with his eyes, but what he felt about that experience. So in your art, you should always be striving to pass on what you observe, your view of a tree or a sunset or your best friend, but it should be your observation. It should be your perspective. And that's what makes you an artist. And becoming a good artist is about becoming better and better at translating what you observe, which means you've got to be good at the translating part. That's the drawing and the painting aspect. But you also have to be exceptionally good, and this is where it all starts, with the observation part. And observation is not just what you see with your eyes. It's what you feel. It's what you experience. It's what you hear. It's how the material that you're working with interplays with each other and with the surface you're working on. What you observe needs to be translated so that other people can experience it too. So to become an artist, this is where you start. You observe as much as possible. And there are two aspects to observation. Number one, you have to notice the world around you, start seeing and experiencing and just noticing things, and then you have to document that. Noticing your world may be the hardest shift in mindset because we live in such a fast-paced world and we're always moving and we're always busy and we're always distracted, but you need to slow down and start noticing your world. Look out around you. As you're driving, as you're walking, go for hikes, spend time with your friends, and just notice. How do you feel? How does the light hit that tree? What is the atmosphere like? What does it look like in the distance? What does it look like in your peripheral vision? Notice the blurriness, notice the definition when you look at something and the difference there. Start noticing the world around you and pay very close attention. That's the first step in becoming an artist. And once you start doing this and you start noticing the world around you more, you'll start to develop what artists call artist eyes, where you start seeing the world differently, like the colors and the way that they play with each other, and the way the light hits, and the atmosphere, and what things look like in the distance as opposed to up close. You start seeing and appreciating the world in a whole new way. But second, you need to document that, because you're never going to remember all the things that you observe and notice, like the colors and the light and all of that. You need to start documenting it in some way to remind yourself later when you get ready to make a piece of art. And a lot of artists will use a sketchbook, and they'll carry that around, and they'll just whip it out when they see something that they like, something beautiful, something that catches their eye, and they'll draw it real quick, sketch it real quick, paint it real quick if it's a small, maybe watercolor sketchbook. But my favorite method is just to take photos. I've always got my phone with me. I can just pull it out when something grabs my attention, take a quick snapshot, maybe even a little video clip. If we're driving down the road, my wife likes to drive, and so I'm in the passenger seat a lot. We're driving down the road, maybe on a long trip, and I can just take pictures out the window. We like to go on hikes, and I take lots of pictures as we're going along, and I try to get those pictures of things that I notice. And it's just quick. I'm not trying to make the perfect photo. I'm not trying to frame it up perfectly and make sure the lighting and everything is perfect. I'm not a photographer. My brother is, but I'm not. But I just take these quick snapshots, and then later I can take those photos and I can crop them down, I can recolor them, can play with the lighting and the contrast and the brightness and all of that until I get something that looks interesting and that I might want to paint. So this is my preferred method. But either way, you've got to document what you observe somehow. Notice your world and then start documenting it. Sketchbook, photo, something. Start documenting your world. So here's my point. If you want to be an artist, by all means, keep practicing those artistic skills like drawing and composition and color theory and painting and color mixing and all of that. Practice those things. Those are extremely useful tools for an artist to be able to translate what they see. But to be an artist, it takes more than just being good at those things. You have to move on from that, from those skills, and you have to put them into the practice of translating what you observe. You need to become an observer of the world around you and somebody who practices the art of sharing that world and that view with others. So notice your world and document your world, and then share your world through translating what you observe. All great art begins with great observation. So start observing, start noticing your world. Check out what's around you. Get out there and look and see and experience, and then share your observations with the rest of us. And the great thing about observation is you can practice it all the time. Just be intentional about it and then share it with the world. Now go make something.